Everything's great until it's not. Everything's amazing until Mike Tyson punches you in the face. And if you're not mastering the moment because you don't have the skill to book an appointment on the phone, you don't know what to say in a listing presentation, you're too worried about what your freaking Canva presentation looks like, you're not losing just commissions, you're losing your confidence, you're losing your momentum, and you're watching your business you dreamed of slowly slip through your fingers. And now you're thinking, gosh, do I need to get a job driving Uber? You didn't get in this business to be average. You got in this business to create freedom, an abundance, a legacy. You have to know that when things get tough, what are you going to do? Because none of that happens without guidance and skill. We're in a market where 1 in 7 deals are collapsing before they close. In cities like Jacksonville and Vegas, it's actually 1 in 5. Let that sink in. You work your tailbone off to get your deal accepted, and then it falls apart. Gone, poof, commissions, client trust, momentum, poof. All those bills that you were hoping to pay, the trip you were going to take, the kids up-leveling you were going to do, boom, gone. And here's the truth. If you don't level up your skills, you could be one of those agents who we speak to every single day that says, I've lost 4 deals this year. The buyer walked. What happened to the buyer? They disappeared. What do you mean they disappeared? They decided to put their house hunting on hold. That's tens of thousands, 50s of thousands of dollars, depending on your price point. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be that way because in this market, guidance matters more than ever before. And staying average is costing you the dreams of what you had when you got in this business. Now, let me tell you why the deals are falling apart. Let's see what's really going on. According to Realtor.com, Newsweek, Redfin, in June, 57,000 homes were canceled. That's almost 15% cancellation rate. In hot markets like Jacksonville, Atlanta, Las Vegas, 1 in 5 deals fell apart. And here's the thing. Buyers are having more remorse and more cold feet than ever before. Financing is falling through because agents aren't prepping the prospect properly and they don't have backup options. Low appraisals are blowing up the price because agents don't know how to talk to the appraisers prior to the appraisal going out. Inspection issues that weren't prepped for are coming up and ruining the deal. All of this stuff gives buyers more options. Sellers are being forced to negotiate. Fear and financial stress are driving indecision. And this is no longer the market that you can just coast through. Every day, our team talks to agents that say, oh, well, back in 2021, we did 40 deals. Okay, what did you do this year? Well, it's a little bit slow. Okay, where are you at? 4 deals. So you went from 40 to 6 to 8 deals. Every day, agents are staring at their bank accounts, pacing the office, sitting with their head in their hands, wondering, what am I going to do? So let me ask you this question. How many deals this year have you lost? Did you lose them because of inspection issues where you weren't able to get the buyer and the listing agent to come together? Were you the listing agent and you weren't able to get the buyer and the buyer's agent to come together? And now you have to go back to your seller and say, well, you know, and we all know how that conversation goes because agents that aren't great at communicating aren't great at having difficult conversations. How many deals did you come in because the appraisal came low and you didn't have a negotiation strategy to talk to the seller, talk to the buyer about what to do next? Why does that happen? Because you have a weak buyer or a listing appointment. In your appointments, you're focused on the marketing. In your appointments, you're focused on the home search. But what you should be focusing on is what? Actually helping the buyer and the seller come together. You should be talking to the buyer and the seller that says, look, everything's great until it's not. Everything's amazing until Mike Tyson punches you in the face. And if you're not mastering the moment because you don't have the skill to book an appointment on the phone, you don't know what to say in a listing presentation, you're too worried about what your freaking Canva presentation looks like, you're not losing just commissions, you're losing your confidence, you're losing your momentum, and you're watching your business you dreamed of slowly slip through your fingers. And now you're thinking, gosh, do I need to get a job driving Uber? You didn't get in this business to be average. You got in this business to create freedom, an abundance, a legacy. None of that happens without guidance and skill. So if you want to learn how to survive and thrive in a market like we are in today, you need to master 3 things. You need to understand that every buyer and seller has an option. And when things get tough, what are they going to do? You have to know that when things get tough, what are you going to do? Because when you think about energetics and you think about vibration and you think about like the woo-woo side of the world, if your confidence drops, what do you think is going to happen to the buyer or the seller? If you get an appraisal back and it's low, or you get an inspection back and it's bad, and you're like, oh man, what am I going to say? What do you think's going to happen when you have the conversation with your client? There's too much uncertainty in the economy. We have fear around this market falling apart. Places like Austin, places like Phoenix, places like Miami, things are starting to get a little wonky because prices went up so fast and people think what goes up must come down. Do you understand how you're supposed to speak to the client in these moments? But here's the thing. It's not when that happens is when you should be bringing it up. It's prior. It's in your buyer consultation, in your listing consultation, where you say to the seller, now we have a 4-phased approach. And the first 3 phases are, we're going to sit down and do what we're doing right now. We're then going to prepare your home, or we're going to prepare you to make sure that when you go out and put an offer on a property, you're prepared, right? That means financing is in order. That means down payments in order. That means that we're going to be able to cover a low appraisal if that needs to happen. But everything falls apart in phase number 3 and 4. And that's when we actually put the offer on the home and we get the offer accepted. Because the only time a deal can fall apart is when, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. That's right. When you and the other buyer and seller have come together and we've ratified the terms of the agreement. And now the due diligence period starts. And this is where now we have contingencies, where we have inspections, where we have appraisals. And during these processes is where you hire the professional, because anybody can go and open a door and show it to you. Anybody can send you a list of emails with houses. In fact, you probably already have 5 agents doing that now, correct? But there's only a few people that can keep things together. And when we find you your dream home, right, the home that you want, and we get that locked up at the price that you want with the terms that you want, so that you and your family could go do X, Y, and Z in the property. And you guys can have the space you were looking for in the backyard for the kids to run around, and the safety of not being in the current neighborhood and being closer to school so that you're not spending 4 hours commuting. That's when you pay us. Because like I said, as Mike Tyson the Great says, everything's great until you get punched in the face by Tyson. Same thing here. And the difference between the top agents who are having no deals fall apart and the bottom agents, maybe that's where you're at right now, where you have a lot of deals falling apart, or every time you have a tough conversation, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? Is your level of skill. It's your level of preparation. It's your ability to walk into a client's house and own the presentation from the time you walk in to the time you walk out with the signed agreement. And if you don't have a mentor in your corner, helping guide you, helping you learn, and helping you build the right systems for this super tough, bloody market, you're going to bleed deals every month. So if you're tired of watching and hearing deals fall apart, or you're tired of hearing the objections of, well, you know, the market's really uncertain right now and we want to wait. If you're tired of seeing other people win and you want to have the confidence and have the income in this market, well, it starts with great conversations. And let's get clear what's actually costing you deals right now. Let's map it out, because guidance isn't a luxury anymore. It's a requirement. And I promise you, most teams, I'm sure you love your team leader, but let's be real. Do they have a step-by-step process of what to say inside of the presentation? Let's be real. The brokerages are still creating broke agents, and the brokerage model has been broke for 10 years. Let's be real. Watching another YouTube like what we're doing right now is great, but what are you implementing from these? Or are you just taking a little piece from here? Oh, Vic said the 4 phases. I like that. And then now you're trying to input it into your beautiful Canva deck that you feel looks good, but you have no idea if it actually serves your prospect. So let's be real. Click the link below, book a strategy session, see if there's any hidden gaps that's causing you to not live the life you want, not take the trips that you want, not be the mom or the dad that you've been wanting to be because financially you're not able to. Stress level, you're not even present when you're home. You're always thinking about something else. When you're at work, you're thinking about how you're not with your family. When you're with your family, you're thinking about how you should be working. And you're on this roller coaster hamster wheel. Click the link, talk to us, and let's see if what we do is the right next step for you. because the market's not going to get easier. Even if it does get easier, do you want to get better and make more money because the market got better? Or do you want to finally have the consistency? Do you finally want to do the 2, 3, 4 deals a month that you've always dreamt about doing, making the money you want, the 20, the 30, the 40, the $50,000 every single month? Or do you just want to keep hoping and praying that you're going to get there? Click the link below. Peace out.